Everyone in this arena has a money stake in one of our famous couples as we play the game of celebrity gossip, Tattletales. And here's the star of Tattletales, Bert Convy.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to Tattletales. It's nice to have you with us today. Boy, I say it all the time, but have we got three dynamite couples today? Dynamite, as JJ says. And here they are. On my left, winning money for the blue section. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. George Hamilton and his wife, Alana. Hi, gang. How are you?
Hi, gang.
I'm going to let my wife talk from now on.
Why is that?
Well, because at home she's been criticizing that when I get on the show, I say everything. I talk all the time. She doesn't get a chance to talk.
Oh, really? Well,
and I don't see why she says that, because I really don't talk all the time.
I
never really talk very much at all. I don't know why she gets bothered about me talking. Alana, I don't want to talk.
Boy, are you going to get it.
Yeah. Yes, but first we've got a show to do. Winning money today for the banana section. First time on our show. Ladies and gentlemen, one of the greats of all time, Mr. James-Brown and his wife, Deidre.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
You know, Deidre, welcome.
Thank you.
You ready to go back there?
I'm ready.
James, when I say one of the greats of all time, it doesn't fall trippingly off the tongue. I mean that. I've been a fan of yours for a long time, and you are something else.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
I mean, I was so thrilled when they told me you were going to be here. I didn't want you to feel that I was giving you a glib MC's announcement, because I really wasn't. How you been?
I'm fine. At least I get a chance to talk now. It's vice versa with me, you know.
Yeah.
George, he does all the talking, but I don't get a chance to say nothing, so I guess today I can get a few words. Since I got a lot of people to
Listen to that.
He's picking on you already, Deidre, you see?
He's not fair.
Well, you're in the right section. The bananas will take you into their hearts. I know that.
Right, thanks.
Now, there's another couple here today.
Oh.
Winning, not yet.
I got so nervous when I make it good.
Winning money for the red section today. And neither one of them will shut up for a moment, but they do awful well. Here they are, ladies and gentlemen, Charlie Brill and Mitzi McCall.
What
Mitzi,
a
how are
day.
you?
What a day. I'm so nervous.
Really?
Yeah, see, I have this problem.
Oh.
George Hamilton is in love with me, and I just don't know what to do about it.
You've just been trying to keep away from him ever since you got here.
I think it's because I look so much like his wife.
You think that's what it is? Okay.
I don't want any snickering, Brill.
No.
Snickering, no. I'm begging is what I'm doing.
Charlie, how are you?
I'm fine.
Yeah?
Yes.
Gosh.
I couldn't be better.
Idol of
I'm so
millions of
cute.
sex-starved women all over the world.
Can
huh?
you believe that? All those nasty letters I get
I
from
hear
girls.
you really get wild
Keep them
mail.
coming in, will you, please? I really like
Here
them.
comes the first question, ladies. It's worth $150. This is it. Ladies, a close friend of yours is having an affair. Now, you and your husband are going away overnight, and your home will be vacant. She asked if she can use the place. Would you let her? Don't say anything. Don't say anything now. A close friend of yours is having an affair. Now, you and your husband are going away overnight, and your home will be vacant. She asked if she can use the place. Would you let her? Think about it, girls. We'll come back for your answers shortly. What's Alana going to say, George?
Oh, this is a killer.
Oh, yes.
Well, you know, the problem is, if she was a close friend and her husband wasn't, I'm sure my wife would let her.
Right.
But if we were friends of the husband and the wife, my wife wouldn't get involved.
You're assuming that it is a married couple.
But if it's not, now you see, that's the thing I got to make clear. If it's just a friend and she wants to, you know, I mean, if she's not cheating on her husband,
right,
then I'm sure she'd let her.
I see.
But if she was I know she
No
wouldn't.
wonder Mitzi loves him. He talks as much as she does. No wonder.
No, it's important what he's saying. You see,
I don't
because
believe
it says a
Could
close
you
friend.
stick with us, please?
I'm going to try.
A close friend is having an affair. Now, I don't know, but I wouldn't think she'd be having an affair with her own husband. But on the other hand, it doesn't say here.
No, that's the point I'm making, is that if she was married, a friend is having an affair, and say she's married, then that's a different thing.
Right.
We'd stay out of that.
So
but if she's not married...
But we haven't stated that. We're not making
You're
that
making
clear.
a very difficult question out of this,
That's right.
Bert.
That's what we've done on purpose.
I'm not answering the question.
Okay, moving right along.
I would say my wife would let her.
She would say yes.
Yes, probably wouldn't tell me.
Right. Okay, let's bring her on and find out.
No?
Shh. Wait a minute. Hold it. Wait a minute. Is it yes or no? Blue section seems to favor no. What do you favor, George?
I heard one yes out there.
Heard one yes? The yeses have it. Okay, let's bring her on. Elana, what are you going to do now? Your friend is having this affair, and she wants to use your place. You're going to be away overnight. She asks if she can use it. Would you let her?
Although I know it's best not to get involved in those kind of things, I probably wouldn't be able to say no.
That's what he said. You would say yes. You're right.
Bert,
One person in the blue section.
Oh,
got that
ye
right
of little
with you.
faith.
Bert,
You see, yes, dear.
only if she would reciprocate.
Oh, I see.
I don't believe I heard that.
I do, and
I'm
Alana-
just teasing, darling.
of course.
The point
he's
was
teasing.
that we
He's
were trying to make the
teasing.
differentiation here, whether they were married or not.
Yes, it's not important now. You have to share the pot, George. It's over. Thank you, Alana.
I'd like to talk to you about this
Very
later,
well done.
We
darling.
won, George.
James,
Be quiet.
what's Dee Dee going to say?
Well, I'm sure she's going to say no. But I tell you why. Because she's very fussy about the house. And the only way she would consent would have to be 2 poodles, because she loves poodles, you know.
Poodles?
Yeah. That's the only way she'd let the poodles have it. But people, no.
A close poodle friend of yours is having an
close
affair.
poodle friend, oh, yeah.
There would have to be consenting poodles.
Oh, yeah. 2 consenting poodles. You'll say, Dee Dee will say no.
No, blank.
Okay, let's bring her on. Dee Dee, what is the answer now? Your friend is having an affair, wants to use your place while you're gone overnight. Would you let her?
No.
That's what James said. You're right. All right, beautifully done. Hey, you're
I'm
off.
a little bit too persnicative. My home is very private.
That's what James said, exactly, and you're absolutely right, and you're off to a smashing start. Charlie, what's Mitzi going to say?
Mitzi, of course, is going to say yes if they would just let her hang around and watch.
Yeah.
I don't. With
I somehow had the feeling that that's...
Mitzi, well, she's a kinky person. Yes,
Yes.
Mitzi, of course, but she's a benevolent person.
Right, she'd
Yes,
say yes.
of course.
She'd say yes.
Might
That's-
learn a few things. You never know.
Let's bring her on. Mitzi, what are you going to do? You're going to let your friend use your house overnight for this clandestine meeting? Yes or no?
Am I going to let my... You bet your life I am.
That's what he said. You're right. Okay, everybody's right, gang. We split that opening pot 3 ways. Well done. We'll come back and split all the rest of the pots in just a moment. You come back too. See you later. Hi, we're back with question number 2, and this is it. Ladies, if you're ready, we have a nice tie game out here, 3-way split, and this is the next question. In the heat of an argument, have you ever slapped your husband's face?
I smell victory!
Don't say anything, ladies, just because Charlie is wringing his hands in anticipation. In the heat of an argument, have you ever slapped your husband's face? Think about that, ladies. We'll come back for your answer in a moment. Every time you smell victory, it turns out, you know...
No, you'll see.
Kind of
You'll
disastrous.
see. Oh, I'm right
yeah?
on this one.
All right, we'll find out. James,
look.
between you and Dee Dee, has that ever happened?
Oh, I'm afraid to say. I guess I better tell the truth.
Sure.
Really, she did.
She did?
Yes.
She really let you have it
Yeah,
once.
man, I'm telling you, I had to find the dough. It's true.
Do you want to tell us on what occasion that was, James, or would you prefer to...
it was about, I don't know what she's going to really explain it, but it was about the kitchen, and I was kind of fooling around it, going through the pots, you know, doing a few things that I shouldn't have done.
Shouldn't have been doing.
Trying
huh?
to get it done a little early, you know.
Well,
So,
listen, you have to keep the kids in line, you know. I mean, if you got to...
I found out. Really.
Okay, let's bring her on. I love it. Dee Dee, have you ever, in the heat of an argument, slapped your husband's face?
Oh my goodness, never ever.
Oh, really? Okay, that's not what James said.
I've never hit you in
Tell-
your
tell her
face.
about it.
All at
Not
one
in your
time.
face. I've never hit you in your face.
Well, you know, the time
punches
when,
that are killers.
the time was when we was in the kitchen and we had a little problem. You
Oh,
slapped me
yeah.
right in the
Oh
den.
yeah.
Now
I'm
you
sorry.
remember.
Yeah.
How
Yeah.
quickly they forget. Well, you
Yeah.
forget pain, you see. That's one of the blessings
Right.
of it all. But thank you. I'm glad you
We
guys
have to forgive.
got that straightened
Yeah.
out. Thanks, Dee Dee. Charlie,
Thanks.
how about Mitzi? You smell victory, right?
I smell victory. How can I lose on this
I
question?
don't know. We'll find out in a minute,
Mitzi has slapped my face, kicked my tookie. Mitzi
his
has one
tookie.
of the greatest right hands in all of show business. She's small, but of course she has slapped my face.
She
when
has-
when people fight like we do, there is a mutual disgust for each other.
Is that what it is? Okay.
Yes, she slapped my
Let's,
face.
I
And
think
she'll slap his face, too,
I think
if
what
he
you're
wants.
trying
It
to
doesn't
say,
matter. He doesn't care.
the answer is then yes, isn't
Yes.
it, Charlie? I got it.
And I'll slap yours if you don't watch
Never
it.
mind.
I'm sorry.
Let's bring on Mitzi. Mitzi, you're in the heat of an argument with Charlie.
Yes.
I mean, you are so furious
I'm
with
really
him.
mad, Bert.
You really gotta get it.
And I just take that right and I follow right through on Charlie's face.
That's what he said. You're right.
You know what? You know what? Bert.
Yes, dear.
It's really awful. He can't take a punch.
He's got a glass mustache, huh?
He really does. Good line, Bert. I wish I'd said it. And I will.
And you will. You have a share of the pot. Thank
Good.
you. And
Yay,
a,
Brett
and a good
section.
right hand, I hear. George, how about Alanis? She ever popped you one?
WASP Puritans don't do that.
Oh,
No, she just calls in a lawyer.
I see. And
If
he
that
hits you
doesn't
in the
work,
face.
hitman. But
The lawyer's got a great right.
the
huh?
only real fight we ever had, really, I got her on the floor after
I beg your pardon.
after
Not
a
the
left
making up,
and
the fight.
a left and a right cross combination.
Put her
It
down
was
for
two
the count.
jabs and a right uppercut, and then she drew a knife on me.
Oh,
Yeah, she packs a knife. I'm not kidding you now. When she went to New York, she was so paranoid about being in New York, she used to carry a knife in her bag. One day she's walking down the street. Ice pick, wrong, ice pick.
Ice
walking
pick,
down the street,
better.
and she brushes a lady, and the lady goes for a knee. And she didn't know it, but she'd stabbed the pick, had gone through the bag and stabbed the lady in the knee. True. My wife is not to be fooled with scissors under the pillow.
oh my.
I mean, she's got razor blades in her stocking.
Wow.
She's got everything in the world, but she's never touched me.
No,
Because
she
I
doesn't
told
have
her,
to. She's got a weapon in her
I told
hand.
her, there's a lot of money here.
Don't hit me in the face.
Never hit me in the face.
Right, okay. She's never slapped you. Let's figure it out.
Never happened.
Alana, have you ever in the heat of an argument slapped George in the face?
Why are you laughing,
Well,
Bert?
because, I don't know, I guess I'm
What's so
fantasizing.
funny out there?
Nothing at all.
He's bigger and meaner than me, so I wouldn't dare. I'd still be picking my
That's
teeth.
what he said. You're absolutely right. That means Alana and George, Mitzi and Charlie split that pot in half. We'll change places at halftime, ladies and gentlemen. Fellas, step to the rear. The ladies will come on here. We'll come back with the second half of Tattletales in a moment. Now, you come back. See you in a minute.
No.
Here we go. We have changed places. We have the ladies with me. The fellas are ready to go in the back. We have a close game. James, you're only a half a question away, so we got to catch up. Here we go.
Okay.
This is it. Worth $150.
Okay.
Man, what is the fanciest piece of jewelry you've ever worn? Don't say anything now. What is the fanciest piece of jewelry you have ever worn? So you're going to have to match this. Think about it, fellas. We'll come back for your answers in a moment. Okay? Goodbye. There they go. Mitzi, Charlie wears some pretty fancy stuff.
Yeah, isn't that mean? And I have nothing. Now something is going wrong here.
That's the way it goes today.
Really, he is so conceited. He gets chapped lips from kissing his mirror.
Yeah. It's going to happen.
Gosh. Well, I'd say the fanciest piece of jewelry is something that Charlie wears all the time, and it's an Indian watch thing, a band.
Uh-huh.
And he loves it.
Yes.
He really loves it a lot. Do you think it's sick, gang?
How much does he love it?
He loves it so much that the other night he kissed the watch goodnight and put me on the dresser. I said a joke. Oh, my goodness. Where did that come from?
You're perfect. Let's you'll say it is his watch band then.
Yes, and of course he'll say that too, because we're going to win.
Yes, all right. Let's bring on Charlie. Now don't get overconfident here. Charlie.
What is it?
Nothing. I'm just giving you a little warning, a little caution.
I'm thinking. It's on my mind.
What is the piece of jewelry
Yeah.
that is the fanciest that you have ever worn?
Besides Mitzi's earrings?
Yes, besides that.
The fanciest. And fancy, what's fancy? I love my watch. I don't know if that's fancy.
That's it.
That's it? What's fancy about my watch? What is fancy about this?
Yes.
Wait a minute.
You love it. It is beautiful,
But what's
isn't it?
fancy about it? It's not fancy. It's watch. It's a watch. It's turquoise. It's a watch. That's fancy.
Well,
Diamonds
there's
is
stones in it.
fancy.
It's
George
lovely.
Hamilton wears that on a Monday.
George
Yeah.
Hamilton is everything is. I look closely. Those are not his. Those are all. Well, we'll talk about that later.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, you have a share of the pot. You were right. You're absolutely correct. Alana, how about George? What's the fanciest piece of jewelry he's ever worn?
You know why that's so tough? Because George loses everything. I mean, when I met him, he owned a lot of jewelry, and he left it all in a taxi cab in New York and never saw any of it again. And I don't know. I think maybe he would say, is it something that he would own now?
Well, it says it has ever worn. You've ever worn. So it could have been something that he had a
Well,
long
before he
time
knew
ago.
me.
Could be.
And lost it.
Could be.
It's not a fair question. Okay. Anyway, I have to answer something. So I'm going to say that it's a medal that Sammy Davis Jr. gave to him, and it has Sammy's initials in it, and it's gold and diamonds, and it's something that he really treasures.
Okay.
So I'm going to say that.
I would too. Let's bring him on. George, what is the fanciest piece of jewelry you've ever worn?
Well, I've had a lot of jewelry. I lose everything I ever had.
That's what Alana said.
I mean, I've lost everything. You got a minute?
No.
No. But
I would say that I've had a lot of jewelry, and some of it very expensive. I don't really care about jewelry very much, but the one piece, which was probably the fanciest piece I ever wore, was one that Sammy Davis Jr.
That's
gave.
the one. That's what the lady said. You were right. Thank you, George. Dee, how about James? What's the fanciest piece he's worn?
Well, it's a ring that he has put away, and he's had it for a long time, and it's worth quite a bit.
Good, and you
it's-
know where it is, I hope.
Yes, you better believe it. And it's a ring that he has put away.
Okay.
And it's worth a lot of money.
All right.
And I think that's the most fanciest.
That's what he'll say.
Yeah.
It's a particular ring. Let's
Right.
bring on James,
Right.
find out. James, what is the fanciest piece of jewelry you've ever worn?
I probably could say 1,000 things, but I've got to say a watch.
No, that's not what Dee Dee said.
You, what about the ring?
Ah,
The
no.
ring.
And I just got it. Oh,
no,
my.
I mean the one that's put away.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, yes. Now
Yeah.
he remembers that.
He doesn't
Sorry
even know
about
what he
that,
owns.
James. That means Mitzi and Charlie, Alana and George split that pot in half. We still have 2/3 of the tie. We'll be back in a minute, gang. Come on back for the big question. Coming up. All right, we are back. The double question coming up. This one worth $300, and we have 2/3 of a tie. So come on, James. And I've said it before. I always do. Don't feel bad, because from $50 on this question, many people have won. It happens all the time. Men, we're going to give you the choice of eavesdropping on one of the following conversations. The first is your men friends talking about you. And the second is your women friends talking about you. On which would you rather eavesdrop? I'll say it again. We're going to give you the choice of eavesdropping on one of the following conversations. The first is your men friends talking about you, and the second is your women friends talking about you. On which would you rather eavesdrop? Think about it. We shall return for your answers in just a moment. Dee Dee, how about James? Would he rather listen to his men friends talking about him or his lady friends talking about him?
Well, I would say I think he'd like to know what his women. We all know what they think about him. He's great. Men.
I think men friends.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's bring him on and find out. James, you got a choice now of two conversations to listen in on. One is a bunch of your men friends talking about you, and the other is a bunch of lady friends talking about you. Which would you rather listen in on?
The ladies.
That's not what Dee Dee said.
I said the women, they know what you're like. You know, you're great. I know that. All women know that.
She said you'd be interested in hearing what the men had to say, James. Oh, my.
My
That's
bad
all
day.
right.
Bad day.
That's all
Bad
right.
You got 4 more to follow.
Bad
Don't worry about
day.
it, James. Mitzi, how about Charlie? What's he going to say?
Charlie, this eavesdropping is a good topic because, honest to goodness, every time, see, we have, a phone upstairs, a phone downstairs, right? And every time any of my friends call me, I hear click, right? So I know he's listening, so I only say the best things about him. Then when I know he's not home, I tell the truth. But Charlie would rather, of course, listen in on the women. What does he care what men think about him?
Ladies,
it's the women,
ladies'
the ladies.
conversation. Let's
Yes.
bring him on. Charlie, which
Yeah.
conversation are you going to listen into? The men talking about you or the ladies talking about you?
The lady's talking about me.
That's what she said. You're right. Absolutely right.
Wow.
Charlie,
Yeah, it was
did that answer exhaust you?
It was a toss-up because I always thought the ladies loved me, but then in the back of my mind, I figured, well, maybe one or two it would interest me to see what they say.
One or two, we'll discuss that after the show.
Never mind.
We've got the points. Keep
Alana,
quiet.
how about George? What's he going to say?
I'd like to know what lady friends he has.
Yes.
He's going to say the ladies.
He will?
Yeah.
Okay. He doesn't
I think
care what the
so.
men think, right?
No.
Okay, let's bring on George. George, which conversation are you going to want to listen in on? The ladies talking about you or the men talking about you?
I'd listen to anybody's conversation. I'm the original Watergate. I would listen. You're giving me a choice of men. I guess I don't care what men say. I would listen to anything women say.
That's what the lady said. You're right. That means Alana and George, Mitzi and Charlie split the big one. Yay! Very well done, gang. Hey, time is up. We have a tie. The red section and the blue section win it today. We'll come back in just a moment to find out how much they've won. You come back too. We'll just see in a minute if I can say it. We had a tie. The blue section with George, Alana. The red section with Mitzi and Charlie. $350. We had $1,000. They will divide $1,700. Goodbye, everybody. See you next time on Tattletales.
This is Gene Wood speaking for Tattletales, a Mark Goodson-Todman Production.